What's up guys, BSG Trek Fan 88 here, and yes, I'm a little behind on this, so I will get straight to the point. This is my 2003 Jeep Wrangler TJ Sport Edition. When I bought it, it had about 87,000 miles on it, now it has about 91. It's the i6 automatic 4-speed with overdrive. Yes, I know those of you out there that love Jeep are going, it's an automatic. Well, it's what I have. Right now it's kind of dirty. Gave it a quick wash while waiting to get in line for the steering stabilizer to be put on. I replaced the factory, which was the original factory, with a Wrangler one, which has great reviews. As you can see, I have the soft top on right now. This is the Rampage frameless soft top, so it has the option of going bikini style, which is what's on there right now. The windows are over there. I think I'm probably going to put my hard top back on in about a week because it's starting to get really cool. And even though it's fun driving around, you know, I'd like to have the hard top back on. Also, I drive on the highway every day and the wind noise is just insane, to be honest with you. So that being said, let me show you what we got here. We have my General Grabber AT2s on there. They are 30 inches tall, they're on 15-inch rims. Not bad. Not huge, obviously there's still quite a bit of room, but I like to have a little bit of room for suspension travel. And again, I'm not going to put anything massive on there. I mean, I go on the highway every day to work. Running boards that did not come standard, I put these on, $100 off eBay. I'm a little concerned, and people out there can help me out. These mount with body frame bolts, and there's about there's a little bit of give. Like I'm talking like maybe a centimeter at most. That's like being really out there with the estimate, but people are saying that there should be a little bit of give. I don't know. So if you've installed running boards, aftermarket ones, let me know. I'll go down here real quick. As you can see, they mount with the body frame mounts, and I basically, just did it. I mean, it's strong, but I'm just afraid about that, the give. So any comments, let me know. So let's walk around. Now, a little tip for you, if you're new to the Jeep world and you just put your soft top on, this is the connecting pin input for the hardtop's wiper and rear defrost. I rubber banded a baggie around it, so if it happens to get a little water on it, nothing will happen to it. And I just tuck it right up underneath there. As you can see, a little bit of mud. Went through a puddle the other day, didn't think, and because the tires are wider than the fenders, a little bit of mud got inside, whatever. It's not mud, it's add character to it. I gotta get this tire cover because this is obviously a standard wheel and tire. It doesn't really look that great compared to the other tires. Bumper stickers soon to come. Again, same deal. We open her up. Pretty clean. I need to vacuum in here, but the interior is in very good shape. No nicks, no dents, no scratches. I hate nicks, dents, and scratches. It's a pet peeve of mine. Except this right here. This little guy. But whatever. I'll deal with that. And now, as I told you I would do, this is the radio I put in. This is the Alpine IDA X305S. This is a radio specifically made for people who do not use CDs anymore. This particular radio is connected to my iPod. If you want to see me do a review on this, check out my other videos. I'm not going to do a full-fledged review, but as you can see, it fits quite nicely in the console. I don't know why my phone's not focusing here. There we go. It looks like it was made for it, practically. Security is a concern with the Jeeps with the soft top on, so I do have lock and key. I put this away, deters thieves, even though you could just take this whole fucking thing out if you really want to. I ran the iPod cable behind the console here. Everything is open back here. You can reach in and do things. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier than a lot of vehicles. I don't know if you can see. Again, I've replaced the stock speakers, thank God, with Alpines across the board. In there, and of course, in the speaker pods behind us. and I do have my subwoofer installed. I have everything running underneath the center console here. This is the only spot that I have exposed. I just haven't had the time to unscrew the bolt that's in there and to tuck these underneath. It's not a huge deal. It's out of the way. It's not going to get hit. Then of course I have it under the rug back there, and that goes to the sub. Great radio, especially if you have a Jeep and you just want something simple. There are modifications to put a double-din radio in here. I really don't want to do any of that crap. Trust me, I really wish I could use my Pioneer, but think about it for a minute. If this Jeep is going to be running with the top off of it every now and then, God forbid if rain gets in here, this is a $200, well, I bought it for $200, normally it's around $300, but $200 radio versus an $800 radio gets wet, I'd rather have to replace this thing. But for me, it's awesome. Again, iPod connectability. I don't have my Bluetooth anymore, but whatever. And navigation, I can just use my phone. Center console, pretty straightforward if you've seen a Jeep before. Four-wheel drive, switcher, two-wheel high, four-wheel low, automatic gear changer, park, reverse, neutral drive, 2-in-1, e-brake, which could be tightened but still works quite well. The only two problems I'm having with this Jeep right now, other than Jeep shake on the highway since I put the bigger tires on, is this right here. As you can see, I have rubber bands on here to help try and slow the door down, which it does work, but the weight of the door is pulling the assembly here out. Yeah, if I can literally see, and then of course this slips up, and thus the door continues to open. Now, it's not a question of this, which is bolted onto here. I thought these bolts would just loose. The whole assembly is bending back, and I have to constantly bend it back. So any ideas on that, let me know. But until it gets fixed, I mean, this passenger door isn't open that much, so I always try and tell people to, you know, not open it hard, if you will. So it's something that can be avoided, but it's just one of those little things where if you don't pay attention to it, you're gonna break everything. And as I said before, I installed my sub, and unfortunately I couldn't use my other sub box, which is very nice, and it's ported, it's built extremely well. So I went and bought a $30 box. I got to keep my sub though. It barely fits in there. But it fits just so, not too tight on the seat. And then of course, when I shut the door, boom, right there. You know, I'm not too worried about this if it gets a little wet. The sub itself, this sub has gotten soaked before, and I just dried it off with a hair dryer for a few minutes. No, I'm just kidding. I just dapped up the water and just let it dry on its own. Don't ever use heat on something like that. You'll contract the material. So yeah, I mean, this is it. As you know, I had a 95 and that got totaled, and once you have a Jeep, you want another one. And I'll be honest, is this the best vehicle for me driving at this point where in temporary house? About 60 some odd miles a day, no. But it's a Jeep, it's fun, I love it. I'll take a look at the engine compartment. As you can see, it's pretty clean. I do have my sub wire being run back there. I'm going to zip tie it. I am putting a cold air intake in here and getting rid of this stock air filter. It'll add a little bit of horsepower, maybe 5 at most, and maybe increase the gas mileage just a little bit, but if anything, it's more efficient for the engine because we all know that the paper filters, you know, it's like breathing through a straw versus breathing through a paper towel roll. Because it's the sport model, it does come with the factory installed fog lamps, which do work and do work very well. I was going to have to buy my own when I bought a Jeep if it didn't come equipped with it, but you know what? This one actually works pretty well. The paint all around is pretty decent for being 10 years old, except the hood here. You might be able to see it, those little chips. It's doing that evenly across the board until you taper down to here. I don't know if that's because of heat from the engine or if it's just sun. It is a black vehicle, so it sucks up the sun. The only rust spot that's showing through the paint is this right here. What I want to do is I'm going to chip this away, sand it down, and get one of those diamond plates that go over the whole thing, or just the front, just to cover it, just to save some money for now. I will eventually repaint this if I keep this for a long time. Fenders are in good shape, a little dirty right now. rear seat does. Oh yeah, forgot to show you. I don't know if I'm not going to show you. The amplifier for the sub is actually under the seat. I bolted it in there, and it's out of the way of rain. People can't see it, so they can't steal it. So yeah. Anyway, this is my 2003 Wrangler. Any questions, concerns, let me know. I research everything to death before I buy it, so I know everything there is to know about the 95s, which is pretty much saying you know anything about the 1990s and up, and the TJ is here. Alright, BSG Trek Fan 88, signing out. As said before, I replaced the steering stabilizer. This is it. It's a Ranchero, or a Rancho, depending on how you pronounce it. I'm going to end up having this front end lubed, tightened up, anything that's really worn out be replaced. Steering is a vital, important thing on an automobile, especially one with tires this big. So I figured I would show you this real quick.